Good evening and thank you for joining us for this week's last edition of Primetime News. I'm Joy Gosses. As we always call upon you, if it's your first time joining us, please subscribe, press the like button and be sure to click the bell icon to stay abreast with the latest in local and global news. Leading tonight's bulletin, Popular Democratic Movement leader McHenry Vanani says he is sorry for attending the Independence Day celebrations and eating cake under a huge tent reserved for the elite while ordinary Namibians watched over the fence. Edward Mumbu Jr. compiled our first report.
Events that unfolded at Swakopmund's Veneta Stadium on the 21st of March 2020 still haunt Vanani, as could be deduced during a recent interview. Vanani has come under fire for attending the event. He apologized on behalf of the party and on his own behalf, noting that one thing that he appreciates about society is they have high hopes for him for blaming a public member or a leader of the official opposition who has nothing to do with the organization of the day. Following the faux pas, the Namibian president also issued a public apology. Vanani said the time is ripe for Namibians to understand the art of statecrafting.
Now on to neighboring Zimbabwe, where the country's civil registry department will begin a 6-month national mobile registration exercise to issue civil registration documents ahead of the 2023 general elections. Shinwa brings us the details.
In a statement issued on Thursday, the department said the exercise will run from the 1st of April to the 30th of September 2022. The department noted that this year's mobile registration exercise comes against the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected the issuance of civil registration documents. The mobile registration exercise will provide an opportunity for citizens to obtain national identity documents, which will enable them to register as voters in the upcoming 2023 harmonized general elections. It said the exercise will mostly focus on the issuance of birth certificates, death certificates, and national identity documents.
Switching attention to the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia on Thursday failed to block the United Nations from funding an international committee that will investigate human rights violations by all parties in the nation's recent war. AFP brings us the story.
The International Commission of Human Rights Experts on Ethiopia was created last December by the Geneva-based UN Human Rights Council despite strenuous objections from the government in Addis Ababa. Led by former International Criminal Court Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda, the 3-member commission has a renewable 1-year mandate to investigate abuses committed in the country since war broke out in November 2020 between Ethiopian forces and Tigray People's Liberation Front rebels in the north of the country. At a meeting of the United Nations General Assembly's Budget Committee on Thursday, Ethiopia tried to pass a text that would block funding for the commission but was not able to garner enough votes. According to a chart showing a breakdown of the vote, 66 member states voted against Ethiopia, with only 27 in favor of the text and 39 abstentions. The remaining nations of the 193-member body chose not to participate. Selima Shimwefeleni Masipa reporting for Nampa News.
On to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Turkish media reported on Thursday and quoted Turkish president as saying Ankara welcomes the proposal of being one of the guarantor countries in terms of the security of Ukraine. Shinwa breaks down the details for us.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan told reporters accompanying him during an official visit to Uzbekistan they can be one of the guarantor countries in terms of guaranteeing the security of Ukraine. He added that they welcome this in principle, but of course, the details need to be clarified. Semi-official Anadolu agency quoted him as saying, "You'll have phone conversations with both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, urging them to meet in Turkey for a final peace agreement." The Turkish president reiterated that his country would not join the international sanctions against Russia.
Kindly stand by for your top roundup. In the business and economic segment tonight, the Omusadu region has the highest concentration of business establishments in Namibia at 18%, followed by the Ohangwena and Khomas regions with 15.6% and 15% respectively. Let's get more context from this report compiled by Isabel Bendo.
The Omaheke region recorded the fewest number of businesses, accounting for 2% of the total number of establishments. This was revealed by the Namibia Statistics Agency NSA in the recently launched inaugural Census of Business Establishment 2019 to 2021 report. According to the report, which was launched at Swakopmund on Thursday, more than half of these establishments are situated in rural areas. Statistician General and Chief Executive Officer of the NSA, Alex Shimwafeni, said the main objectives of the report are to provide detailed structural and demographic characteristics of establishments. He said the census of establishments was conducted from October 2019 to April 2021. He added that it covered all business establishments countrywide with a fixed location, irrespective of the number of employees, except for open market and communal farming activities. Shimwafeni revealed the establishments that were attached to household structures were also excluded. A total of 61,502 establishments were contacted during the enumeration period of the census.
Onto the banking sector. The Central Bank's annual report for 2021 released on Thursday revealed that Namibia's banking sector in 2021 remained profitable, liquid and resilient despite a strained economic environment. Xinhua filed this report.
The banking sector remained profitable and held adequate levels of capital to cushion against possible shocks to the economy, the Central Bank of Namibia Governor Johannes Gravachab said in the report. He added the sector's profitability, as measured by the return on equity, increased to 13.6% in 2021 from 10.9% in 2020, while the capital position remained healthy, with the capital adequacy ratio remaining above the statutory minimum requirement and in fact increasing slightly in 2021 compared to 2020. On the other hand, Gravachab said the asset quality measured in the level of non-performing loans deteriorated further in the third quarter of 2021 when it peaked at 6.9%, though it tapered slightly toward the end of the year to 6.4%. He added the non-performing loans ratio level exceeded the crisis benchmark of 6.0% and requires close monitoring. Looking forward, Gravachab said Namibia needs to map out strategies for the post-COVID-19 era to drive economic recovery. Salima Shimwefeleni Masipa reporting for Nampa News.
And with this insert, we have come to the end of the top news. Kindly stay tuned for the economics roundup.
Sport Planet brings to the fore for you all things sport. Welcome to the week's last edition of the segment. I'm Michael Madimba. We begin the segment with some positive news for Namibian football. The Brave Gladiators have moved up 31 places in the latest FIFA World Rankings released on Thursday. The Gladiators were previously ranked 145th in the world and are now ranked 114th, but moved one place down on the African rankings from 25th to 26th. However, the team remains in 5th position in the COSAFA region, behind South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe and Angola. Staying with football, FIFA President Gianni Infantino clarified at the 72nd FIFA Congress in Doha, Qatar on Thursday that FIFA has not proposed a biennial World Cup and it needs more time to discuss. Speaking about the speculations of the biennial World Cup, Infantino said the World Football Governing Body has not made a proposal to change the global calendar. Infantino remarked, "The last FIFA Congress asked the FIFA administration with a vote, and 80% voted in favor to study the feasibility of the World Cup every 2 years. The football boss added that FIFA is not in a hurry to make the final decision and believes it still needs some time to debate, discuss, and convince. Kindly stand by for your sports roundup. With the Sport Planet segment, we've come to the end of the week's edition of Prime